Power to the truth. This is Margo. This is Monday, March 4th, 2019, 4:53 p.m. Pacific time. And I'm not feeling well at all. I'm going to try and push through and do the earthquake report simply because so much is happening and I just wanted to get it done. I went to the dentist today, had my teeth cleaned, and because of my sensitivities and allergies and stuff, I get pretty ill for when I get any kind of dental work done, even just a teeth cleaning. So I'll be okay. There was nothing wrong, and it went as well as it could, but it's just going to take me a couple of days to recuperate. So I'm just going to do earthquakes. I'm not going to go over comments or news or anything. And there's no new methane data on cams today. So, I'm just keeping everyone in my prayers. There have been tornadoes through the south in the United States, and people have died and people are missing, and there's fires in Australia, and it's getting exponentially worse every day. And so if you're not prayed up, if you're not in with God and Jesus, you need to get there now, and you need that tractor beam to heaven. That's all I can say. And the sooner we can get out of here, the better. I can barely function here anymore. So we're just gonna do a quick report, and then I'm gonna rest. So you can hear I'm so hoarse I can barely talk. This is how I get when I react to stuff. So we're looking at USGS, all magnitudes for the last 24 hours, and we have 218 worldwide, and we have 24 that are 2.5 magnitude and higher. So we're just going to quickly go around the ones that are not in the US, and let's see where we need to start. Looks like the Virgin Islands have the most, so we'll start down here in the Virgin Islands. They have the oldest, so we have a cluster down here of 6 from 3. Here, the largest ones are 3.4s. So we've seen those. There were 2 3s and one. Two 3.4s and one 3.0, and then the rest are in the 2s. So that's not huge, but that's still showing movement. Then down here off the coast of Mexico was a 4.2 near Santiago Pinotepa Nacional, Mexico, at 6:53 this morning. These times are Pacific time because that's my time zone. Then right off the coast of Peru was a 4.5 near Pisco, Peru, at 3:03 this morning. Then down here in the South Atlantic was a 4.8 in South Sandwich Islands at 8:49 last night, 103 kilometers deep. Then coming around, Papua New Guinea has a cluster here. I'll just call them off. 5.9. There was not a tsunami created. I looked earlier. 4.8, 4.4, and 4.4. And these are all pretty much in the same place near Madong, Papua New Guinea. So we can see they're all in the water there. So they probably didn't cause any damage with them being in the water. We've got 2 more near Malili, Indonesia. There was a 4.8 and a 4.4 there on land. And I'm not going to go into great details on these earthquakes. I just want to do it and get it done. Here is a 4.5 near Yankee, China today at 2:28 p.m. Here was a rare reported earthquake in Russia. A 4.6 near Ust-Berguzin, Russia at 5:02 this morning. Then Hawaii is still shaking. There are 5 here, twos and ones still on the mainland of Hawaii. Then up here in Alaska, we've got 4.4 near Sandpoint, and we've got how many here in the map area? We've got 54 here today. So the ones that are 2.5 magnitude and higher were this 2.5 at near Anchorage and a 2.9 near Kobuk. And so you can see we still have the cluster at Anchorage. So the rest are under 2s. I mean, under 2.5. Now, what's really interesting, though, is when we come down to the lower 48 in the U.S. Remember, I showed the report from Dutch Sense last night about the heat spot right up here off the coast of Portland. I do have cams pulled up for sulfur dioxide, and there is showing a sulfur dioxide release in exactly that area. It's not in the red, but it is in the cream and the green color, and this is at surface level from today. And also you can see sulfur dioxide releases at all of the earthquake points from where we were seeing a lot of these earthquakes. We're seeing sulfur dioxide releases. So and sulfur dioxide comes from other places too, but one of the main places that sulfur dioxide comes from is from it's an indicator of geologic activity. Either magma is moving, or it can be an earthquake or a volcano that's giving it off. So, and I've seen the sulfur dioxide happen days before an earthquake, and then the earthquake happens. So here is a 2.6 near Alderson, West Virginia, that came in last night at 11:41 p.m. Here's a 2.3 near Blackwell, Oklahoma at 1:06 this afternoon. Here's a 2.7 near Pecos, Texas at 1:11 this morning. And this is what is happening. All the buzz on the internet is about the earthquakes going off in Colorado, and they're also going off in Yellowstone at the same time. We've had 7 here in this same area. It's called, it's near Dove Creek, Colorado. The first one, this 4.5, it was downgraded. When I saw it come in this morning, and it came in at a 5.3, and then they downgraded it to a 4.6, and then they downgraded it to a 4.5. So I guess they finally settled on a 4.5. This came in at 9:22 this morning, Pacific time, and it was very shallow. It was 0.8 kilometers deep. Then, since then, we've had a 1.9, a 1.6, 1.9, 2.1, 1.5, and 2.0, all in the same area. And Dutch Sense did a special video on this, and he said it's near a big drilling operation. And then Mary Greeley did a video and said it had to do with the salinization water plant. So, for whatever reason, it's huge movement, and this isn't a place we normally don't see earthquakes, and to see it come out that close to a 5.0 that they finally settled on in a place that we normally don't see earthquakes is something to take note of, definitely. And that's why I'm doing this show when I feel like crap, because of all this activity going on, because the shit's hitting the fan, folks. And it's gonna, when it starts, when things start happening, it's like the dominoes are going to be all lined up, and they're just going to start going. They're just going to start going. So, you know, I just don't know how much longer we've got. And I don't know how much longer we'll have on the internet and the whole 9 yards. I mean, the world is unraveling. The matrix is unraveling quickly. Then here in Arizona was a 1.3 near Littlefield, Arizona, and a 1.5 near Enterprise, Utah. Then moving on up to Farron, remember we saw these clusters here at Farron? They've had 5 more in the last 24 hours. 1.6s mainly, and 1.5, and 2 of them were at negative depths, meaning that the epicenter of the earthquake is up in the mountain, and usually it can mean it's an old volcano, and the magma's moving up in there. It might be coming back to life. So we've got 7 there in the last 24 hours. And remember, this is all part of the hazard zone. Then near Bluffdale, remember we saw a whole cluster here too. We've had 4 in the last 24 hours. And now look at Yellowstone. I've got all the Yellowstone region on the map. We've got 13. Now we've got this huge cluster right here, and these started coming in at the same time as the ones in Colorado started coming in. 1.4 near Hoback, Wyoming. And I'm just going to zoom in. 1.5 near West Yellowstone, Montana, and then we've got 5 right here. These these are near the Old Faithful geyser. This first one was a 3.3. This one came in at 9:16 this morning. Then so the other one happened at, I can't remember, like 9:22 or something. Then Old Faith, same place, a 1.6, 1.7, 2.1, and 0.9. And so the last one happened at 3:21 this afternoon. So these plates are triggering movement with each other, and the magma is moving too. And like I said, shit's hitting the fan soon. Here's a 1.9 near Manhattan, Montana. 1.6 quarry blast, just what we need, near Butte, Montana. That one came in at 12:14 this afternoon. Then a 0.9 near Lincoln, Montana. And then a pair here, 1.4 and 1.3 near Lincoln. So then up here is 1.8 near Wallace, Idaho. Then here's the state line for where you move on into Washington. And so in Washington we're having activity in the Pacific Northwest. We've got 5 right here on the map. Here's 1.2 near Navy Yard City, 1.1 near Bainbridge Island, that's right across from Seattle. Here's a 1.7 magnitude explosion near Leavenworth. That one happened at 4:56 this morning. So they got started literally in the middle of the night, exploding. And they're on Pacific time. So at 4:56 in the morning, they're blowing something up and causing a 1.7 magnitude earthquake. That's insane. 1.7 near Intiot at 0 kilometers depth. 0.8 near Keelan, Washington. Moving on down into Oregon was this is still Washington, 1.4 near Morton, Washington. Just north of Mount St. Helens, that lovely volcano. 1.1 near Carson, Washington. And then coming on down at the geysers, these were going off at the same time the other stuff was going off. And we've got 27 here today, and they're still popping off. These are ones and under. I'm going to come on across. Let's see. Okay, then in the Reno area, we've got one in the Mount Rose area, a 0.6 that came in at 12:14 this morning. Nothing in northern Nevada. We've got 2 to the east of Fallon, a 1.2 and a 1.0. We've got these small ones near Hawthorne and everywhere. I'm not going to call all those off, but we can see that we've got more peppered around in southern Las Vegas and everything. Now let's come on down the eastern side of California, and we've got a 0.7 near Bridgeport. We've got a 1.6 right in the middle of Mono Lake, and a 0.8 near Mammoth Lakes. I think that's Mono. Yeah, that's Mono Lake. And then down here in the Long Valley Caldera area, we've got 7. They're small microquakes. Now here's one. Here's a minus 0.1 at a minus 1 kilometers depth. So that's up in the magma chamber. That's magma moving up in the volcano. It was a microquake, but it was big enough to register. They have tremors that are smaller than even microquakes. This was bigger than a tremor, so it's up in the chamber, 1.9, and the rest are. Here's a 1.5 near Wilkerson. I can't even see it. I can't even see where it is on the map. Anyway, then we've got down here 1.6 and 1.5 Wilkerson. See, we're having them in pairs and clusters. 0.7 near Lone Pine. And then in this lower area we've got 9 here. So you can see that the numbers are increasing because everything's shaking. And here's one down in Baja, a 2.8 that came in this afternoon at 3:19 p.m. Then in Southern California, see if we can get these on the map. We've got 35 here today on the map. So they're not huge. They're not huge, but you know, they're still there. And then coming on up the San Andreas fault line is a 1.2 near Parkfield. And look, this is eerily quiet. Normally we see about 4 or 5 on this line. Here's a 1.5 near Los Baños. Here's one 2.2 near Monte Sereno. And so all of this is eerily quiet because I guess it's building. I guess it's gonna build up for some big one to hit. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Oh, there's a new one. Did we see this one? 1.7 near Intiot. Yeah, we saw that. Here's a new one. 2.8 near Manhattan, Montana. And just to refresh your memory about these hazard zones in the United States. These are the hazard zones. Okay. This is the New Madrid fault hazardous area. We've got hazard zones up here. We've got, and this goes all around that North American Craton plate, around the edge of it. So where you see all of these coming down through Yellowstone and then Utah, they're in that hazard zone. And then these in Colorado are like on the edge of that Craton plate. And then of course all of California, but in the mountainous areas where where we see them all the time, that's even more hazardous because it's red and orange. And then up here in the Pacific Northwest. And then they've got Alaska marked too. Wherever you see the yellow and into the orange and red, that's the hazard zone. So it's very active, and I expect something to happen any day, and that's why I'm doing these earthquake reports every day, and God told me to. God said, do the earthquake reports because we can see the pulse of Mother Earth better by watching the earthquakes, and plus doing the other data too. Well, we just got a new one here to the east of Greenland, 4.5 near Svalbard and Jan Mayen. This one came in at 4:57 p.m. So let's zoom in on that. Here's Iceland. There's Iceland. Jan Mayen is just a little tiny island here. So it was directly to the west of Jan Mayen, and Svalbard is up here. So it was between Iceland and Svalbard, but right on that red line, that tectonic plate. So we're going to be seeing more and more of this. That's all there is to it. And so I didn't want to get behind on earthquakes. So I'm glad I was able to at least do a short report today. And now I'm going to sign off and rest, and so that I can come back tomorrow and we can do a longer show. I love all you guys very much, and you need to get right with God and Jesus while you still can. I love you, and until next time, God bless, go in peace, and goodbye.